Hello everyone, Dan 14th Prime here. Want to do a video share out today with you guys on the Spawn Kickstarter 3-pack. Landed in the Prime Pyre here just this past week. And really excited to get this. I'm a big Todd McFarlane fan, big Spawn fan. Those of you that may follow the channel know I've been trying to read all the way through Spawn, all the way to current. I'll touch on that a bit later, but yes, this Kickstarter 3-pack here went for like 190 bucks if you got in on it. I can see on eBay, the per figure price is like 150 bucks. So it really sucks if you didn't get in on that. But this 3-pack consisted of a modern Spawn, a classic Spawn, and an artist proof Spawn. Let's jump in here. Let me show you this really nice packaging. So let me take you just a bit closer in here on one of the boxes so you'll get the gist here. Nice Spawn lettering all the way down the front. It has a sleeve on the box, 1994 to 2001 there in the bottom. Spawn on this side, and like I said, this here is just a sleeve, pulls up. We get this nice black box here, probably hard to see there. There is a Spawn logo. It's kind of, I don't know what you call that, embossed or something on the front, otherwise plain black all the way around there. And you get the Spawn logo there on top as well. In this nice ribbon opening situation, it just pulls open the door like so. So when you go in the box here, they all come with this certificate of authenticity signed by Todd McFarlane there. Lots of light on that, sorry. But every figure has one of these in its box. Every figure also has one of these. It's basically a sheet of paper that shows the original Spawn figure at 5.5 inches versus the remastered 2021 Spawn figure. And it just shows basically all the stuff they upgraded and improved versus the original. And then as we get more into it here, take out some foam. This is generally the pack out, what it looks like. Your clamshell thing surrounded by a foam outer. Now this here has the signed nameplate from Todd. This just came with certain types of how you would buy this figure. I mean, you could buy them each separately. You could buy them all together like I did, and there were different bonuses. So I believe this was a bonus if you bought them all. Hand signed Todd McFarlane plaque, pretty cool. And then they each have some different accessories bedded down in the foam there, which we'll get to when we look at the figures. I'll just show it to you rather than unboxing each one. Then to get the figure out, you just remove the foam like that. And then here you have the whole giant clamshelled thing. And again, this one's, he's out of the box. But right there, just big, thick, resealable clamshell. And they all have, the comic book up there as well. And why don't I just show you here, because I'm going to get less into this guy. This is the artist proof. Again, it is probably tough to see in there. It's just like an all-gray version of the classic Spawn, which I'll show you here in a second. Maybe comes with a bit of a different accessory there with a bit of a necroplasm effect. It's got Screaming Head. He's got then this really cool sword. Too bad that's not painted up. Of course, you could do it yourself. That's the point of this. Where you can have someone do it for you and really get some custom work done. But that's a pretty awesome sword. One of these, I don't know, mace, just like log with nails and metal hook in it. I think they pretty much all come with one of these. And then he gets like a necroplasm dagger here. Just translucent green dagger. That is it. And again, he has like a necroplasm effect down in the box with him. But pretty much just going to leave this guy maybe kind of mint in the box and set him aside, even though he's the one everyone's selling on eBay most cheaply these days. I think it's pretty cool. And I want to display the other two, so I'm just going to keep him nice and fresh. Now, before I get into the figures, let me just make a quick plug here for the books. I mean, it's a great story. I mentioned I've read a lot of Spawn 1 through 125 through the Spawn Origins collection. You can find that out on Amazon. It's collected in hardcover, 10 hardcovers, or 20 trade paperbacks. Highly recommend that. Again, I've got links down in the description below. You can jump out to Amazon. You can get quite a few of them. eBay as well. And you might need to mix and match hardcovers and trades if you want to cobble that together as cheaply as possible. Todd really doesn't get credit for his writing and his plotting. It is excellent, especially over long story arcs. And then here I'm trying to get through 126 through 300. It's not easy. So much of those issues are not collected. To collect the first 50 there that I reference, But then you can get some more luck here with trade paperbacks like these, again, which pretty much all got from Amazon. And I've read all of these so far. I'll finish that guy, New Beginnings Volume 2, tonight. And I'll be down to my last 4 and then left trying to fill the gap. Or again, if you're new to Spawn and you're patient, this is the latest volume they released. This Compendium Volume 1. It's issues 1 through 50. Again, this is out there on Amazon as well. Pretty hot seller. So if you're interested, jump out there and pick it up before the prices spike. So if you missed out on the Kickstarter, this is definitely one of the 2 figures you're probably considering buying out there on eBay. The classic Spawn, which I have there holding the 2 guns, and the modern Spawn with the unmasked hamburger head face. Now again, 7-inch figures, big, articulatable, sculpted capes, real metal chains, and as pretty typical with McFarlane toys, a bit of good articulation as they've improved on that over the years, but still an element of kind of sculpting the pose into the figure. Some people like that, some people don't like it. I kind of like it actually, because even though it might restrict some poses, I think for what it does do, it just looks more natural. But just be aware of that if you're like an articulation OCD guy. All right, now let's jump in on these guys and take a closer look. Okay, let's start off here with the one they call Classic Spawn. I've got him holding 2 big guns, and one of these guns is actually with the modern Spawn figure. I forget which one. I think maybe this one. I just dual weaponed this guy. Love this suit at Classic Spawn. I think Spawn only wore this suit for like the first 34, maybe 37 issues, something like that, before he got the big boot and kind of changed some of the color schematics. So modern Spawn has kind of always been Classic Spawn. This is just more like OG Spawn, in my opinion. But I think he does look absolutely fantastic. Let's take a closer look. All right, so as we can see here, we get the big, just dynamic sculpted cape with the crazy collar, signature McFarlane stuff. We'll get into the articulation of the back of the cape. Again, he's got that classic masked portrait, the necroplasm, glowing green eyes. Or at least they have that effect. They don't actually glow, but just that weird neon green. Again, all these chains here, real metal chains across the chest and waist. And I think just excellently sculpted and painted. Now here's where I mentioned some of the sculpt of movement that they put in. I mean, his torso there, you can see it has a bit of a lean to it. Sort of like he's on his hip a little bit. Same thing up into the neck. The head has a bit of a natural cock to it. So it looks best, he looks best when he's kind of like that. Because the torso and the neck, they sort of work the best from that angle. So again, just be aware of that stuff. But if you've been a McFarlane Toys fan, I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise to you. But I think just, and again, the wings sort of articulate here. So spoiler, just kind of show you that right there. Boom, boom. But just check out the sculpts. I mean, great musculature. Pretty dang clean paint. I mean, super minor knit, not a big deal. Torso looks phenomenal. Maybe a little black slop there, maybe a little something here on the white, but I don't mind. It kind of works. I mean, this is Spawn, right? He's going to be a little dirty, a little beat up. So maybe some small knits there, but I would say overall, when I look at the sculpt and the paint, I think it looks fantastic, especially when you just step back. Very, very cool. Then just jumping downstairs here. If you haven't seen the hands, cool knuckles on there. Got, of course, the pouches, right? It was the 90s. So you got to have the pouches and then sort of the spikes on the shins and stuff, of course, as well. So I dig it. I think it all looks good. Got the red-orange trunks as well. And when we spin them around here, again, just a lot of great sculpting through the cape. Just all the folds are in it, and really good use of shading through there. You can see it kind of all over the place. And as I showed you before, the articulation is up there. So if you want to get this a little bit out of the way, focus more on the figure, you can do that. If you want to really wrap it around him, and just cover him in his cape, you can do that too. And again, I don't want to grind articulation a lot here, but let me just give you a sense for it. I'll just move him a bit so you can see like what's all in on this guy. Does have a double jointed knee, so you can get that up. There's swivel up there. You saw the hip bend. Got an ankle, toe as well. And I guess I'm just trying to see if the ankle is going to... Oh, he's got like some sort of shin pivot right there. I don't really see like an ankle pivoting per se, just up and down. Then here at the torso, pretty limited. It's all sculpted, like I said, so you'll get turn there. That's it. No crunch or anything else like that there. Again, the head, it's got that slightly posed sort of neck, but you can move it. You just might get some funky stuff that sticks out because the sculpt is inclined to, be positioned a certain way. So in some poses, it looks strange. Again, of course, the cape's going to restrict some of the shoulder movement going up. Get the arm up about like that. It looks like it's just single jointed, but it still works a good 90 degrees. There's some swivel up there at the bicep. It's super tight. I think really limited as well. And then the cape has got like a Marvel Legends, peg and hinge right there as well. Then here, this is actually everything that comes with the classic Spawn figure. So you get this stand, pretty much get that with every figure. 2 extra sets of hands. These have a grip in them. They'll hold like the knife, they'll hold the effect, or even they'll hold that piece of the gun on this other gun that comes with the modern figure. You get a set of these more gnarly looking hands with claws out. Those are pretty cool. Those are what come on the figure, actually. And this necroplasm effect. Again, the handle's like right there where my thumb is, and you would grip it with that hand. But that is cool. This gun is very nice. Just so cool. There's this like grenade launcher on there, and got a knife thing on there. Scope. So yeah, very well done. The club here looks really cool, like a log. It's got it taped up, nails in it. Got the big metal hook in it there as well. So that is cool. And this little necroplasm knife. And this head sculpt is so cool. Bring a bit more light for that so you can see all these great details. Wow, it's awesome. I mean, so beat up and worn across the whole face and everything. Growling's got the teeth, the eyes. Yeah, that's a really, really cool classic Unmasked Spawn. And here I kind of glossed over it earlier, but again, they all come with this like comic book. And it's cool because, similar to Clamshell, it's resealable. This comic, there you go, it's got a little thing. You can get in there, pull that guy out as well. And it just seems to be like a walkthrough of the making of Spawn issue 1. He's got all his pencils in there and his writing. He's got different notes and stuff in there. So that's pretty cool. And next up here, we have the modern Spawn. And I'm not like an action figure fanatic on sculpts and all of that stuff. But from what I can tell, I was looking at them side by side. Looks like it's the same figure, save for, they redo this leg, of course. They might only have to redo the bottom because of the big boot that comes about. And then they throw on probably an additional piece of plastic here over the right arm. Otherwise, I was checking. I think the right leg looks the same. I think the arms look the same. Definitely the torso looks the same. So sculpt's the same. They're just painting it differently. And then adding those 2 pieces. And of course, the new head sculpt there, that's like the hamburger head with the shoelace face, which was super funny. So with that, let's definitely try to get on this head. It looks so cool. The other one I just showed you was cool, the Unmasked Classic Spawn. This one's even better. I mean, this is kind of, that, just sort of painted a bit differently, adding the shoelaces, etc. But yeah, that looks good. I find it a little bit tougher to move in there with the cape. I mean, it really just somehow, for some reason, gets in the way with the collar. So really tough from an articulation standpoint. Got to pick him up a little bit. He's like looking down with the cape and collar in there. So again, some sacrifices, but if you go with what they provide in terms of the best poses for the shape, I think you would get some really good looks. So otherwise, yeah, I mean, chains, new deco there on the chest, but that sculpt with that little bit of off the hip kind of lean a little bit, it's there still. Again, all pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty damn good. Paint all the way around. Let's just look at this arm, since this is one of the major differences. She's got that big, spiky forearm guard there. Gauntlet. That looks cool. And then similar when you jump down, you get the big stomp boot. Just happens to be how they sculpted it out hollow. It looks good. Again, lots of big spikes going around there. Same articulation with the double jointed knee. And then quickly here with the modern Spawn, some of the stuff I haven't even got out because it's just redundant. So like same sets of hands, just redecoed. The club, same. The stand, same. Knife, the same. Here's what's different. This necroplasm is different than the one I had showed you before. Those look good too. This gun, and it's a different gun than the one I showed you before. This one's kind of more stockier and just cut like a RPG on top, a drum on the bottom. It's mainly gold and kind of like a bronze looking type color. Looks really good. And then you get the Al Simmons head sculpt. So let's get a good look at this Al Simmons head sculpt. I think it looks phenomenal. You know, there's shading on it. The top of his head versus his face. His lips are a different tone versus his face. The green eyes, again, great sculpt in there. Very stern look. Eyebrows look good. Jaw and just muscles through the face and the neck. That is a really, might be the best action figure head sculpt I've ever seen on this kind of scale of a figure, 6-7 inches. You know, to look like a person. I mean, that is really phenomenal. Well done. And one thing I'm noticing here, as I got the modern Spawn out, is the comic books, different covers, but everything inside is the same. So you have it, guys. The Spawn Kickstarter, focusing here on the classic and modern Spawn. Really happy with these guys. There's just not enough Spawn merch out there in the world for me. So I'm super happy to pick these guys up. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Again, if you're after some Spawn merch yourself, books, action figures, or even these Kickstarters here in the secondary market, links down in the description below. I've got Sideshow for higher end collectibles, as well as Amazon and eBay, which is where you're going to want to be for Spawn books, action figures, and eBay for this Kickstarter here in the aftermarket. Best of luck to you if you're going after one of them. And if you like collectibles, I invite you to come on and check out my bigger collection. Again, back on the channel, or check me out on Instagram, same handle, Dan14Prime. Alright guys, thanks for stopping by on this video share out. I'll see you next time.